many of these things are pretty affordable. I think Prolog was actually via Borland, Turbo Prolog. Remember Turbo C and Turbo C++? I think there was Turbo Prolog. M1 was something you could get at a bookstore. They sold it, really in many cases, a smaller version of it as part of books. So they were giving it away. And most of this stuff was open source before open source was the thing. It was called freeware. And there were many researchers who were putting out these technologies because they understood, I think, AI had some value. And there was sort of a lot of early interest, and certainly in the 80s, in making AI work for the businesses that were out there. And what happened in the 80s, it worked, but as we'll get into, it was a little bit more difficult in getting these things up, way more expensive, to the point of it being unaffordable. And interest was kind of lost in AI, as we went into the 90s, and then up to the rise of the internet. And then AI was always on the back burner. People knew it was there. I used it in building many systems over the years, but it wasn't in the forefront like it is today. So back then, in the 1980s, AI mostly meant symbolic reasoning, handcrafted rules, ontologies, and decision trees, which were expressed in Prolog clauses, list code, or M1, rule sets. So the system was only as smart as the knowledge we could manually encode into it. So making these things learn and understand was where the difficulty came in.